Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest investment you will ever make is not in property, not in business, not in any external possession. It is in yourself. You were not created by accident. Every individual is born with a unique purpose, a divine assignment, and a contribution to make to the world. Your life was designed with intention, and there is a specific reason you exist. But too often, we get caught in the hustle and bustle of life, distracted by the noise around us, and we forget to ask ourselves the fundamental question, why am I here? Focusing on yourself means coming back to that question, understanding your purpose and aligning your life with it. Purpose precedes creation. This means that the reason for your existence existed before you did. The Creator had a plan for you even before the world knew your name. Your life is not random. You are not just taking up space. You are here for a reason. When you understand this, it changes how you live. Purpose gives your life direction, meaning, and significance. It shifts your mindset from surviving to thriving. To focus on yourself is to first discover the reason for your existence. You were born with the potential to fulfill a specific role, and it is essential to know that role. The world doesn't need another version of someone else. It needs the authentic you. When you spend your energy trying to be like someone else or chasing after someone else's dream, you rob yourself of the chance to live out your own. Your unique gifts, experiences, and perspectives are what make you valuable to this world. Discovering your purpose requires introspection and a willingness to listen to your inner voice. It requires time spent in quiet reflection, away from the distractions of external influences. You need to connect with your heart, your passions, and your desires. What excites you? What brings you fulfillment? These are the clues to your purpose. It's easy to get distracted by the opinions of others or by societal expectations. But when you truly focus on yourself, you begin to connect with what is real for you, what resonates with your soul. Purpose is not just about what you do, but why you do it. It is about understanding that your work, your relationships, and your actions are aligned with a greater mission. When you know why you are here, everything else becomes clearer. Decisions become easier. You begin to see the connections between your daily actions and your long-term goals. You stop wasting time on things that do not serve your purpose, and you focus your energy on the things that matter most. Living with purpose also means understanding that it is not just about personal achievement or fulfillment. It's about contributing to something greater than yourself. Your purpose is tied to the world around you, to the people you encounter, and to the impact you can make. When you align your life with your purpose, you become a force for good, for change, for growth, not just for yourself, but for the world at large. Your purpose is not just for you, it is for others. Focusing on yourself in the context of purpose means embracing the responsibility to live up to your full potential. It requires dedication, hard work, and a willingness to grow. It means understanding that your purpose is not always easy to achieve, but that it is worth every effort. You are not here to live in mediocrity or to settle for a life of complacency. You are here to leave a legacy, to fulfill your calling, and to make your mark. When you focus on yourself, you focus on aligning with the purpose for which you were created. You stop living for others' approval, and you begin to live for your own calling. That is when true fulfillment begins. Your identity is the foundation upon which everything in your life is built. It determines your actions, your reactions, your goals, and your relationships. When you are unclear about who you are, you will find yourself constantly seeking validation from others, imitating others, and living based on external expectations. But here's the reality: you cannot fulfill your true potential until you know who you are. Identity is the key to unlocking your purpose and determining your destiny. Identity shapes the course of your life because it defines how you see yourself and how you allow the world to see you. If you don't know who you are, you will live in a constant state of confusion, trying to be what others want or expect you to be. You may chase success, But without a firm understanding of who you are, you will never feel truly fulfilled. This is why discovering your identity is crucial, not only for success, but for inner peace and satisfaction. You must know who you are at the core beyond titles, roles, or societal labels. When you focus on yourself, you begin the journey of discovering and solidifying your identity. It's easy to get caught up in what others think of you, in the roles you play, or in the societal labels that get assigned to you. But your true identity is not found in what others say or how others define you. It is found in who you were created to be. Your value is not based on your accomplishments, your failures, or the approval of others. It is intrinsic to who you are as a person, your character, your heart, and your unique contributions to the world. Understanding your identity is not a superficial exercise in self-esteem. It is about discovering the essence of your being, the core of who you are beneath the surface. It's about asking yourself tough questions. What drives me? What are my core values? What is my mission in life? How do I contribute to the world? When you take the time to answer these questions, you begin to build a strong sense of self. When you understand your identity, you stop trying to fit into molds that were never meant for you. You stop comparing yourself to others and start embracing your unique path. Your identity isn't based on someone else's journey or standards. It's based on the divine blueprint that has been instilled in you. By focusing on your identity, you reject the idea that you must conform to the world's expectations. Instead, you embrace your authentic self, confident in your strengths and aware of your weaknesses. Identity also impacts your destiny because it determines your mindset and how you approach challenges. If you view yourself as capable, strong, and resilient, you will approach life's challenges with the belief that you can overcome them. If you see yourself as weak or inadequate, you will allow obstacles to hold you back. Your identity shapes your self-image, and your self-image directly affects your behavior, your decisions, and your outcomes. When you focus on yourself and focus on your identity, you free yourself from the comparison trap. You stop measuring your success by the standards of others. Instead, you begin to measure your success by your own growth, by the steps you take toward becoming the best version of yourself. This shift in perspective empowers you to step into your full potential and create the life that aligns with your true identity. Ultimately, understanding your identity is not just about personal fulfillment, it is about fulfilling your purpose and destiny. You cannot truly live out your purpose if you are unsure of who you are. You must first embrace your true identity before you can fully live the life you were designed to live. Your identity is not just a part of you. It is the key to everything you will ever achieve. Focus on yourself and know who you are, and everything else will follow. Self-development is an essential part of the journey toward fulfilling your purpose and living a life of significance. It is the process of cultivating your innate potential, refining your skills, and growing mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It is not a luxury or a side project. It is your responsibility. You were not created to remain stagnant or to live without maximizing your God-given potential. Focusing on yourself means committing to self-development, understanding that it is not just about self-improvement. It is about fulfilling the role you were created for. The truth is, you have been entrusted with great potential. But potential by itself is not enough. Potential is the seed of greatness, but it must be nurtured and cultivated to grow. Think about a tree. A tree is not fully developed. When it is first planted, it needs to be watered, pruned, and cared for to become strong and fruitful. Similarly, you must care for your personal growth, developing yourself intentionally so that you can become the person capable of fulfilling the destiny you were designed for. Self-development requires discipline and a willingness to grow. It involves intentionally investing time and effort into improving various aspects of your life. This includes developing your emotional intelligence, learning new skills, gaining knowledge, and strengthening your character. If you want to be successful in life, you cannot afford to remain passive. You must take an active role in shaping who you are and how you show up in the world. Self-development is also about recognizing that you are a work in progress. It's easy to look at your weaknesses or limitations and feel discouraged, but growth doesn't happen overnight. No one reaches their full potential instantly. It's a journey that requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to learn from your mistakes. Growth often involves stepping out of your comfort zone, challenging yourself to be better, and confronting areas in your life that need improvement. An essential part of self-development is understanding that you are not just developing for your own benefit, but for the benefit of others. When you grow, you are better equipped to serve those around you. Your personal growth directly impacts your ability to make a positive impact in the world. Whether it's through your career, relationships, or community involvement, your growth empowers you to contribute more meaningfully. By focusing on yourself, you not only elevate your own life, but you also elevate the lives of those around you. Moreover, self-development is not just about acquiring skills or knowledge. It is deeply connected to your spiritual and emotional growth. True development goes beyond the external and reaches into your character and heart. It involves cultivating virtues like patience, kindness, integrity, and humility. These qualities are the foundation of a life well lived. If you are not developing your character along with your skills, you may achieve success, but it will not be fulfilling. True success comes when you are aligned with your higher purpose and when your inner development supports your external achievements. In the process of self-development, it is important to set goals and measure progress. This helps to keep you focused and motivated. Establishing clear objectives gives you direction and purpose. These goals should align with your overall vision for your life, but be prepared for setbacks along the way. Growth rarely happens in a straight line. There will be obstacles, challenges, and moments of doubt. However, it is through overcoming these challenges that you grow stronger and more capable. Self-development is a lifelong journey. It is not something you can check off your to-do list. It requires ongoing commitment and a mindset that is always open to learning and improvement. Focusing on yourself through self-development means taking personal responsibility for your growth and progress. It means choosing to become the best version of yourself, not for your own gain alone, but to fulfill the purpose for which you were created. When you invest in yourself, you create the foundation for a life of meaning, impact, and fulfillment. Sometimes the most important moments of personal growth come not in the midst of activity or success, but in seasons of isolation. When you focus on yourself, there will inevitably be times when you must step back from the noise, distractions, and pressures of the world around you. It is in these moments of solitude that clarity emerges, that your vision becomes sharpened, and that you truly begin to understand who you are and what you are capable of. Isolation is not a punishment, it is preparation. It is an essential part of your journey toward personal and spiritual maturity. When we speak of isolation, it is important to understand that it is not synonymous with loneliness. Loneliness is the feeling of being abandoned or disconnected from others, whereas isolation is a conscious decision to remove oneself from external influences in order to focus on inner growth. It is a time for self-reflection, for hearing the quiet whispers of your own thoughts, and for seeking a deeper understanding of your purpose and direction. Isolation allows you to hear your inner voice more clearly without the interference of others' opinions and expectations. In a world that constantly demands our attention, taking time for isolation is not easy. The pressures to conform, to keep up, to be constantly engaged in the rush of life can feel overwhelming. Social media, news, and even our own relationships can create noise that drowns out the stillness we need to truly connect with ourselves. However, when you step away from the distractions, you are giving yourself the opportunity to go deeper. You are allowing yourself the time to reflect, to pray, to meditate, and to work on your personal growth without the pressure of constantly seeking approval or validation from others. It is in isolation that you begin to discover what truly matters to you. In the absence of external influences, you can ask yourself the hard questions. What do I really want from life? What is my purpose? What legacy do I want to leave behind? These are questions that cannot be answered by simply following the crowd or seeking advice from others. They must be answered by connecting with the deepest part of yourself, the part that is aligned with your true purpose. Moreover, isolation allows you to strengthen your character. It is in the quiet, away from the distractions, that you begin to confront your weaknesses, your fears, and your doubts. The discomfort that isolation brings forces you to face parts of yourself that you might have been avoiding. This is where true growth happens. Without the noise, you can no longer ignore the areas in your life that need attention. Whether it's healing from past hurts, overcoming bad habits, or addressing unresolved emotional issues, isolation gives you the space and time to work through them. It's in this space that transformation happens, not in the comfort of familiarity or constant companionship. Isolation also nurtures creativity and vision. It is in the quiet, uninterrupted moments that ideas and solutions often emerge. When you step away from the demands of the outside world, you give yourself the mental clarity needed to think deeply, to brainstorm, and to gain a new perspective. Some of the greatest ideas and breakthroughs in history have come during times of solitude, when individuals were left alone with their thoughts and had the freedom to explore new possibilities. In isolation, you allow your mind the space it needs to grow and to imagine new outcomes for your life. However, isolation does not mean abandoning relationships or neglecting the support of others. The goal is not to completely detach from people, but to prioritize the inner work needed to strengthen yourself. When you focus on yourself through periods of isolation, you prepare yourself to return to the world with a clearer vision, a stronger sense of purpose, and the emotional resilience to face whatever challenges lie ahead. In the end, isolation is a tool that, when used wisely, leads to growth, clarity, and purpose. It is not a punishment, but a necessary part of the journey to becoming the person you are meant to be. Embrace it. Use it. Allow it to prepare you for the next chapter of your life. The insights you gain in these quiet moments will serve as the foundation for your future success. Comparison can be one of the most destructive forces in our lives. In a world that often measures success by external accomplishments, appearances, and the achievements of others, it is easy to fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to those around us. However, this constant comparison not only steals our joy, but also hinders our progress. Focusing on yourself means freeing yourself from the shackles of comparison and embracing your unique path, knowing that your journey is unlike anyone else's. The first problem with comparison is that it distorts your self-worth. When you constantly measure your success against someone else's, you begin to feel inadequate or less than, regardless of how much you've accomplished. It's easy to look at someone else's life and assume they have it all together. The perfect career, relationships, or social media presence. But what you fail to see is the work, struggles, and sacrifices that lie beneath the surface. No one's life is perfect, and yet comparison leads us to believe that we should measure up to an ideal that doesn't even exist. This mindset can cause feelings of insecurity, anxiety, and a false sense of failure. It's important to realize that you are not in competition with anyone else. You are competing with the version of yourself that you were yesterday. Your journey is yours alone, and it should be measured by your own progress, not someone else's. Comparison also has the tendency to cloud your vision and distract you from your purpose. When you focus on what others are doing, you take your attention away from the goals that matter most to you. Instead of dedicating time and energy to developing your own skills, building your own dreams, and pursuing your unique passions, you waste that precious energy worrying about where others are in their journey. This not only leads to feelings of inadequacy, but also keeps you from realizing the greatness that lies within you. Focusing on your own path allows you to stay in your lane and focus on your own development without being distracted by the success of others. By staying true to your purpose, you create the space necessary to grow and evolve in your own way. Another danger of comparison is that it causes you to doubt your own worth and abilities. The more you look at others, the more you may begin to question your own talents, gifts, and potential. You may feel that you aren't good enough, or that you will never reach the same level of success that others have achieved. This self-doubt can paralyze you and prevent you from taking the necessary steps toward your own goals. The truth is, comparison is not an accurate measure of your worth. Everyone's journey is different, and everyone moves at their own pace. Your value is not determined by how much money you make, how popular you are, or how much recognition you receive. Your worth is intrinsic, rooted in who you are and the unique contributions you bring to the world. When you stop comparing yourself to others, you can begin to see the beauty and value in your own story. Your path might look different from someone else's, but that doesn't mean it's any less significant. In fact, the uniqueness of your journey is what sets you apart and gives you the ability to offer something that no one else can. Embracing your own path means acknowledging your strengths and weaknesses, celebrating your victories, and learning from your mistakes, all without the pressure of measuring up to others. Additionally, comparison can lead to resentment and jealousy. When you constantly compare yourself to someone else, it is easy to develop negative feelings toward that person, whether consciously or subconsciously. Instead of appreciating their success, you may begin to feel envious or bitter, believing that their success diminishes your own. This mindset is toxic and counterproductive. It robs you of the ability to celebrate others' achievements and diminishes the sense of community and collaboration that could enrich your life. When you focus on yourself and remove comparison from the equation, you can celebrate the success of others without feeling threatened by it. There is enough success to go around for everyone, and their wins do not take away from your potential to succeed. Ultimately, comparison holds you back from becoming the person you were meant to be. It creates a barrier between you and your goals, and it distorts your sense of value. By focusing on yourself, you can overcome the constant urge to compare and instead cultivate gratitude for your own journey. Every person's path is unique, and so is your path. Embrace it. Walk it with confidence. Your story is one of a kind, and it is worthy of being lived fully without comparison. When you stop looking at others, you free yourself to become the best version of yourself. To focus on yourself means to take ownership of your life and make conscious choices that prioritize your well-being, growth, and happiness. It involves understanding that your needs, desires, and goals are not secondary to the demands of others, but essential to living a fulfilling life. Often, we find ourselves caught up in the needs and desires of those around us, whether it's family, friends, or colleagues, leading us to neglect our own well-being. However, in order to live a life that is truly meaningful, you must first take care of yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Self-care is not selfish. It is necessary. When you prioritize your well-being, you not only improve your own life, but you also become a better person for those around you. How can you be there for others if you are constantly depleted physically, emotionally, or mentally? By focusing on yourself, you give yourself the space to recharge, restore your energy, and be the best version of yourself. This allows you to show up fully in your relationships, your work, and your personal endeavors. Taking care of yourself is a form of self-respect and a way to ensure that you are operating at your highest potential. Self-care involves both physical and emotional health. On a physical level, this means taking care of your body through regular exercise, healthy eating, and sufficient rest. It's easy to neglect your physical health in the business of life, but when you take time to prioritize your body, you experience greater vitality and energy. Exercise doesn't just help you stay in shape, it releases endorphins that improve your mood and mental health. Eating nourishing foods fuels your body with the nutrients it needs to perform at its best. And getting enough sleep ensures that your mind and body are rested and rejuvenated. These small acts of self-care add up over time and contribute to a healthier, happier you. On an emotional level, self-care means setting boundaries, managing stress, and taking time to relax. It means recognizing when you are overwhelmed and taking the necessary steps to restore balance in your life. Many people struggle with saying no to others, fearing they will disappoint or upset someone. However, by constantly overcommitting, you put your own needs last, which can lead to burnout and resentment. Setting boundaries is not about being selfish, it's about protecting your mental and emotional space. You cannot help others if you are constantly drained. In addition, focusing on yourself involves developing habits that nurture your mental and emotional health. Engaging in activities that bring you joy, whether it's reading, painting, or spending time in nature, helps to reduce stress and promote happiness. Practicing mindfulness or meditation can bring calm to a busy mind, allowing you to process emotions and thoughts in a healthy way. Finding time for reflection, journaling, or simply sitting in silence helps to ground you and improve your emotional resilience. Taking time for self-care also allows you to reconnect with your purpose. In the midst of life's distractions, it can be easy to lose sight of your goals and aspirations. But when you focus on yourself, you create the space to reflect on your values, your dreams, and the direction you want your life to take. This clarity allows you to make decisions that align with your true self, rather than being swayed by the expectations or desires of others. Self-care helps you stay connected to your purpose, ensuring that you are not just going through the motions, but living intentionally. Lastly, focusing on yourself means being kind to yourself. It's easy to be your own harshest critic, to point out your flaws and shortcomings, and to focus on what you've done wrong. However, self-compassion is a key component of self-care. You must learn to treat yourself with the same love and understanding that you would show a close friend. Accept your imperfections, forgive yourself for past mistakes, and celebrate your successes, no matter how small. Embracing yourself fully with all your strengths and weaknesses is essential to building a positive relationship with yourself. In conclusion, focusing on yourself is not about being selfish or neglecting the needs of others. It is about recognizing that you are worthy of care, love, and attention. When you take the time to prioritize your well-being, you equip yourself with the strength, energy, and clarity needed to live a fulfilling life and to contribute positively to the lives of others. Self-care is an investment in your future, a way of ensuring that you can show up fully in all areas of your life. It is the foundation upon which a balanced, meaningful, and successful life is built. Focusing on yourself is not only about taking time for self-care or personal development, it's about finding the courage to confront your fears, doubts, and limiting beliefs in order to step into the fullness of your potential. Often, we are held back by the fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of not being good enough. These fears are deeply ingrained in our psyche and can paralyze us, making us hesitant to take action toward our dreams and aspirations. However, to truly focus on yourself and your journey, you must learn to face these fears head on and take bold steps forward, even when it feels uncomfortable. The first step in overcoming fear is acknowledging that it exists. It's normal to feel fear when you are venturing into the unknown, but you must not let fear dictate your actions. Fear often arises when you step outside your comfort zone or try something new. It's a natural response, but it does not have to control you. When you recognize fear for what it is, an emotional reaction rather than an absolute truth, you can take proactive steps to move beyond it. Fear will never disappear entirely, but you can learn to manage it and not allow it to hold you back from pursuing your goals. One of the most powerful ways to overcome fear is to take action in spite of it. The longer you let fear control your decisions, the more paralyzed you will become. The antidote to fear is action. It may be small steps at first, taking that first class, making that first phone call, or applying for that job you think you're not qualified for. But every step you take will build your confidence and diminish the hold fear has over you. The more you act in the face of fear, the more you prove to yourself that you are capable, resilient, and able to handle challenges. It's also important to reframe failure as a necessary part of growth. Many of us fear failure because we associate it with rejection, shame, or not measuring up. However, failure is not the end, it's a lesson. Every failure brings with it valuable insights and opportunities to learn. When you embrace failure as a stepping stone on the path to success, you begin to take risks without fear of the consequences. You realize that failure is simply feedback that helps you adjust your approach and get closer to your goals. Success is rarely achieved without setbacks along the way, and understanding this frees you from the fear of failure. Along with fear, limiting beliefs can also hold you back from fully focusing on yourself and stepping into your potential. These are the deep-seated thoughts that tell you that you are not capable, that you don't deserve success, or that it's too late to change. These beliefs often stem from past experiences, societal expectations, or negative self-talk, and they limit your ability to see your true potential. Overcoming limiting beliefs requires a shift in mindset. You must challenge these thoughts every time they arise and replace them with affirmations of your worth and ability. The more you affirm your strength, your talent, and your potential, the more you begin to believe it and act accordingly. Another key aspect of focusing on yourself is learning to trust your intuition and instincts. Often, we are guided by external opinions, seeking validation from others rather than listening to the quiet voice inside us that knows what is right for us. Trusting yourself means recognizing that you have the inner wisdom and strength to make decisions that align with your values and purpose. It means having confidence in your own judgment, even when others may not understand your choices. This self-trust empowers you to take bold actions and remain true to yourself, regardless of external pressures. Moreover, focusing on yourself also involves surrounding yourself with the right people, those who uplift, support, and challenge you in positive ways. It's easy to get caught up in toxic relationships or environments that drain your energy and make you doubt yourself. The people you spend time with play a significant role in shaping your mindset and beliefs. By surrounding yourself with individuals who inspire you and encourage your growth, you create an atmosphere that nurtures your journey of self-improvement and success. These positive relationships help to reinforce your belief in yourself and provide the support you need when challenges arise. Ultimately, focusing on yourself and overcoming fear and limiting beliefs is a lifelong journey of growth, resilience, and self-discovery. It's about making the conscious decision to choose yourself, to choose your growth, your happiness, and your future, no matter the obstacles you may face. Every step you take toward overcoming fear, challenging limiting beliefs, and trusting yourself brings you closer to the person you are meant to become. When you focus on yourself, you unlock the limitless potential within you, and you open the door to a life of purpose, fulfillment, and impact.